Tonight on KGW News.
Kind of a chaotic scene.
How first responders saved a mom after a frightening crash into her home that left her trapped. Plus,
there's a little sign that says cougar something sighting.
Wary hikers told to go elsewhere after a cougar came way too close for comfort. Then the Oregon nurse who allegedly swapped out fentanyl and gave patients tap water now faces criminal charges. And later,
this building has been a game changer for our community.
The local solution bringing stability and opportunity to homeless families with young children. First, to breaking news tonight, where 2 people have died in a motorcycle crash in Portland's central east side. Authorities say it appears the motorcycle crashed into a barrier, throwing the rider and a passenger off an overpass and into a parking lot below. This was on the connector ramp that links the eastbound Morrison Bridge with northbound I-5. The ramp has since reopened while Water Street below remains closed for the investigation. This marks the Rose City's 24th and 25th traffic fatalities this year. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco, and tonight another crash has put 2 people in the hospital and left a gaping hole in a Longview apartment building. That is where a van went straight through a wall, trapping a person inside after hitting someone outside. Catherine Cook shows us the rescue.
Crews spent most of Thursday repairing support beams at this Longview apartment complex. The aftermath of this horrific crash. It happened just before 11:30. Longview fire officials say an elderly man was driving this minivan when he veered off the road at 7th Avenue and Florida Street.
Kind of a chaotic scene.
Police say the van hit a woman on the sidewalk, then crashed into this apartment building, trapping a woman inside.
She's great. She's always been good.
Dan Peterson owns the apartment building. He says the woman who lives here has 2 kids.
And they were in school, thank heavens. Next week it might have been different.
To reach the victim pinned inside, firefighters had to cut a hole through this wall close to where she was standing.
Yeah, to watch them chainsaw one side of the wall with a person on the other side of the wall.
Crews rushed the woman to the hospital by ambulance. As for the woman hit on the sidewalk, witnesses tell us she landed several feet away near the apartment building. Medics wheeled her across the street to an open field where a Life Flight helicopter flew her to a hospital. Both women were listed in critical condition. As for the driver,
We believe, because we're being told by the hospital, that the driver suffered a medical event preceding the crash.
Longview Police Captain Brandon McNew said he spoke with the driver, who was able to walk himself to an ambulance. A difficult day.
Wish this hadn't happened to everybody.
For everyone.
The driver, the resident, and the pedestrian were unknown to each other as far as we know, and so 3 families are affected. So we're just thinking about them.
In Longview, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, Gresham police are still looking for an SUV driver that drove into a building overnight. This was at the Coda Outpatient Recovery Center on Southeast 182nd and Market. Authorities say the driver was trying to evade a traffic stop and ran away after crashing. Crews also had to clear trees and put up wooden planks to support the building. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a challenge to the abortion pill mifepristone. It's the court's first case around abortion since it overturned Roe v. Wade. This decision keeps wide access to the drug in place, including through the mail without an in-person doctor's visit. An anti-abortion group had sued, claiming the FDA did not properly vet the drug when it was approved in 2000. In a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court said the group did not have legal standing to sue. And Clark County officials are warning about a rise in whooping cough cases. They're currently 4 times higher compared to this time last year, with the majority in people who have not been vaccinated. Whooping cough, which is also known as pertussis, is a serious respiratory illness that can spread easily. Symptoms can mimic a common cold at first, but after a week or 2, some may experience violent coughing fits where they struggle to breathe. Oregon officials have also reported a significant rise in pertussis cases this year. Now to an update on the Southern Oregon nurse accused of harming dozens of patients by replacing fentanyl with tap water. Police in Medford confirmed today they arrested Danny Schofield after a grand jury indicted her on 44 counts of second-degree assault. That is 1 count for each patient she allegedly harmed at Asante Rogue Medical Center over a 12-month period. Prosecutors say she stole fentanyl intended for ICU patients and replaced it with tap water, which is unsterile. It caused infections. Some of the patients later died, but police said their investigation showed the deaths could not be directly attributed to those infections. The family of one of the patients who died has filed an $11 million wrongful death lawsuit against Asante. Portland police are worried this election season could bring significant unrest to the Rose City, much like we saw following the 2020 murder of George Floyd. The Bureau's rapid response team faced criticism for their use of force at the time, and while authorities are now bringing the unit back under the same name, they insist things have changed. Blair Best looks into what makes this team different.
Scenes from 2020 protests in Portland are hard to forget. The destruction and violence caught the nation's attention, changing downtown to this day. During this time, the Portland Police Bureau was hit with lawsuits over their use of force. One officer, who was part of the Bureau's rapid response team, which worked during the protests, faced a fourth-degree assault charge for hitting a photographer in the head with a baton. That charge was ultimately dismissed, and he publicly apologized, but it prompted the entire rapid response team's resignation. A city audit later found shortcomings in the Bureau's response to protests. 12 recommendations came out of that report, including creating a new crowd control unit. That unit, still called Rapid Response, starts team training this week. Here are some of the new members at a Thursday morning press conference.
They do represent the best of the best that we have.
42 existing officers and 8 sergeants make up the team. Many of them responded to the 2020 protests.
My belief and my hope is that this time around, as an organization, we will do a better job supporting them in the challenge that we're asking them to take on, as well as a community.
A civil rights attorney at the Oregon Justice Center who represented some 2020 injured protesters is cautious of the return of the rapid response team, telling KGW in a statement in part, quote, "We're going to be repeating past mistakes and people will be hurt because of it."
And really believe in the importance and purpose of maintaining public safety, peace and order at these events. I think that's our overall motivation and goal to returning to this team.
Each member will wear body cameras and get a pay raise, costing the Bureau an additional $380,000 a year. They're required to go through 96 hours of yearly training, focused on de-escalation techniques and use of force, among other things.
Our expectations are high. We expect officers to embody their training and engage with the community with integrity as well as with resolve.
This all comes at a time when political protests are making a slow return to Portland streets, and as the community braces for the upcoming election season and the potential for more violence.
Freedom of expression is embodied in the core of our city's character, and we all value the sanctity of those rights. But these rights are not without limits. They are not a free pass to cause destruction.
City officials are calling on the community to do their part too. They say this is not just a Portland Police Bureau issue. The mayor is asking people to demonstrate passionately but peacefully. The rapid response team starts training together on Friday. Blair Best, KGW News.
OHSU has started notifying employees they will be laid off this summer, with at least 500 staff members set to lose their jobs. KGW has now learned much of the first round is focused on research positions. And today we talked with one research assistant who studies pancreatic cancer and says she's getting a pink slip. She said she was surprised by the cuts and thought OHSU's upcoming merger with Legacy Health meant the hospital was financially healthy.
Sure, this may be a great investment down the line, but right now you're losing the people that are actually keeping your research running. The employees are what make OHSU what it is, and I don't think someone's going to look at OHSU and think we're great because the president finally has a retirement that's like up to market value. We're like, OHSU is great because of the research that we do and the healthcare we provide.
OHSU says the cuts are due to growing expenses in supplies and labor. An Old Town nonprofit that serves the homeless community has suffered a setback at its brand new building. A vandal smashed a window on the new Street Roots facility under renovation on 3rd and Burnside. The weekly newspaper pays people who are homeless to distribute their copies. They've also hired a group they say have fallen on hard times. but also have building experience and they have been helping get the facility ready with an opening still set for September.
And they're coming in and they're repurposing furniture, they're painting this building, they're getting it ready. And I just started really thinking about the window and how what we're really about is when something is broken, we make something out of it.
I like that sentiment. Street Roots says they're working on getting commercial grade glass for their windows, which will set them back about $80,000. They're also hoping to raise another $1 million before opening and are asking the community for donations. Straight ahead at 11 on this Thursday night, we're going to hear from the Vancouver family that is suing Amazon and blaming the retail giant for their teenager's death. Plus, the trail runner that came face to face with a cougar in the gorge and what wildlife officials say that big cat did next.
And the weather is pretty tame at the Oregon coast today. Another great sunset. We have clouds for a while, but they even cleared out of the Portland area. Fantastic sunset. Some low clouds zipping in towards the end there. Hey, the clearing tonight, yes, but we've got showers on tap for Saturday. Father's Day, though, is looking a little bit better.